getting ready. Hi, Janelle. Almost ready. Just trying to get things set up here. All right, this is Sarah Poff, and those art hands. They're a gift from God. So I like to wear hats, and this is one of my favorite art hats to wear. It's purple. The granddaughters really like that color. So I'm still trying to do things with paper that maybe you have around. We're in the Kirigami category again. Remember, I showed you my book. And we're going to make a little wreath. Something like this. Let's see if I can... There we go. My duct tape holder, yes, this is the modern holder that we bought, and it just doesn't quite work. It's the one that made me go sideways the other day when I was trying to shoot a video. So, yes, we're improvising. That's kind of what we're doing a lot of right now. All right, so you can make this with any color copy paper you want. You can make it with construction paper. If you don't have a green copy paper, you could just color it green. Or you could have a different color. I'm just thinking we need a bit of spring in our life. A bit of spring. So that's what I want us to do today, is bring a bit of spring to our lives. So you're going to think that when I first start this, that it reminds you of making a lantern. And it's a little bit like that, but we're cutting it a little bit different too, so you need to make sure. Now, what I also thought is if people want instructions, more of a template, they can leave their email down in the box, and I'll see about getting to that. So I'm going to take my green paper, and I'm going to fold it long way. I call it hot dog because it looks more like a hot dog, and if you fold it the other way, it looks more like a hamburger. But that way, the kids at school, they can remember hot dog, hamburger easier than the more horizontal way and vertical way. All right, then we're going to fringe. This is the fold. These are the raw edges. So I have the raw edges on this side, the fold on this side. And so I'm just going to take my scissors. Now it's not quite even. Once we put it together, you're not going to be able to tell if it's not quite even. So I'm just going to cut. And I'm going to stop about a finger's width from the edge. Now, if you're working with little ones and you're drawing this on their form, you might even have them stop a little bit further back. That way, if they mess up, it'll still be holding together. You do want this to hold together. So I'm going to go all the way across. Trying to, guess and do it. You can always measure if you're one of those kind of people that likes it to all be even. You are welcome to measure this. I know some people like it to be more accurate than others. I'm that art person that just gives it my best shot and goes on down the road. That's what I do. I kind of try to make a judgment call as I'm working on something, And if it doesn't come out, I just keep going because my goal is to complete it. Okay, so now I'm going to open this up and you can see. So if I were to fold it like this, it's that lantern fold. But what I want to do is I want to glue it together inside here. So I'm going to kind of fold this over so it kind of gives me a little bit of knowing how I'm going to make these two connect. So I'm going to like glue this to here. Now I want enough glue, adequate glue, but not sloppy glue. A lot of times I'll even take my finger and I'll rub it. Or I take a little piece of paper and rub. And of course, to dry that glue off, you've got to rub your fingers together. Then I'm going to push it together. And when you do that and you have it covered more but less glue on there, it glues faster. It glues faster. Now, I'm going to take this and I'm going to fold each one of them a little bit down. This way it's going to make it easier when I try to glue this together in the circle. So at each of the loops, I'm going to bend. Keeping going, I'm just bending a little bit there, bend, so that we can end up with that circular shape. Okay, then I'm going to bring this around, and you can see some places it's rounded more than others. So I'm going to bring that around, and I'm going to just glue right here on top. You can glue on top or you can glue behind. Sometimes I actually like slip them inside of each other. So I guess I can do that. I'll do that. Because that's what I've done more of the times, is just slip that one. Whichever one of these looks like it's a little bit smaller. If not, just stick one in there. And that way you can't see it as much. And then you might want to, work with the loops if you want them to be rounder. You can work on that. Sometimes I punch the fold in so that it gives it that round effect. Okay, I'm continuing to go. I hope that you guys are being safe, staying in, and if you do have to get out, watching how much contact you have with people and washing those hands. This is a time that we just want to be safe. We want to be safe. Now, I overlapped this one, so it actually has a little bit different look on it. Well, sometimes along the way, I've had students that came up with the coolest ideas. And it wasn't even me that told them. They just came up with it on their own, and I always like that. All right, now you might have different kinds of supplies than I do because I know we're kind of limited with what we have. I have tissue paper. I used to have, when I taught school, I used to have my teacher friends, give me their leftover wrapping paper at the end of the year. At Christmas time, whenever they received presents, they would send their wrapping paper they were getting ready to throw away down. So I have lots of different colors because of that. Maybe if your mom, or if moms are listening and you have a little bit of tissue paper that you use presents to put in presents, maybe you could give the kids some. Or they could just simply take construction paper and they could cut out little flowers, or maybe the boys might want to do baseball, make it a baseball wreath. I know I have out in the garage, I have a bunch of Royals items that I like to put up that my daughter fixed for me. So, whatever suits your family. But I am so ready for some spring flowers, for some of that. Now, I have a few circles in here. I'm just going to glue, for the sake of time, I'm just going to glue a few of those on there and then show you how I did the leaves. Because it might be that I need to not do as long of videos. I'm just trying to learn. And I appreciate those people that are coming along beside of me or watch it later. I appreciate you visiting with me on these days when I'm of that certain age. And I have asthma. So I'm just trying to stay in and have a little fun while I'm staying in it. Now I wanted to look more leaf-like, and so what I did is I took little pieces of green tissue paper, about that size. I know people always ask me, they're like, well, how big? Well, I mean, I can measure this and tell you if you want, but when I twist it, it might not be that big. So what I did is I took it and I twisted it, and I'm kind of trying to make it have some shapes, pointed shapes on the end that might make it look a little more floral. And you can put a whole bunch. I just put one on each end of each loop on that one. So I took a piece like this and I just twisted it. Somebody out there might have a different way. And I'm only gluing it down in the middle. I'm not gluing it on the sides so that it can be fluffed up. And then you can take the little circle. You could add some circles around it. You like on these, you could add some little circles around it, make a bigger flower. You could draw on there. You could color on this instead of making, maybe you don't have a hole punch with you, but you cut out a circle. So I could do that. And then if I want to outline these with pink to give it more of a floral look, flower look, I could do that. Maybe I want to go over here and get my green marker and put just a few little dots in there. The more time you spend with something like this, trying to make some details, the better it's going to look. And so I'm just going to continue that process on the whole thing. Now, I put a bow on it. I went to the ribbon because somebody donated me a whole bunch of ribbon the other day, and I put this up there and I went, I don't like that. So I decided it just needed a little flower in the middle. And what I actually did, I actually taped that flower so that it would be in the middle. You might want more flowers than that. You could make little tissue paper flowers. And let's see. It's kind of interesting when I'm doing these. This is a Christmas wreath I made when I was teaching the Kirigami class. And so I just keep trying to think up new ideas of how to make this happen and show you something on the video. And so I don't always get the idea until just real close to the end. So I'm going to do a roll. I took a little piece of paper. This one just happened to be rectangles, what I cut. But I'm just going to roll this up like this. And I'm going to glue this. There again, I always do that. Almost always. Because it dries faster and quicker. And then I'm going to take a piece of tissue paper. I might take 2 or 3 since I have small pieces. Oh, I think I'm going to put a little yellow in the middle of it. Let's do that. I'm going to take a piece of yellow. I'm going to twist this end. Might want to cut this off just a little bit. Put some glue down in here and stick this in like this. And kids could have great fun just experimenting with some tissue paper of different kinds. And then I could fix 2 or 3 of these and cut them, put a little bow on the outside, and I could stick that in here in the edge. And there's all different kinds of things you could do like this. So I'm hoping that this will help some of the kids pass some of the time, because you can just use white paper. You can use construction paper. I used copy paper. I started doing that a few years ago because it seemed to be cheaper. So I appreciate you following me, and I will do like I did yesterday. I'll have some folders on there that show some other ways and some other things to do with this. If you want me to send you further instructions, you could leave your email in the comment section. Thank you, Janelle, for coming on board with me. I appreciate it. And I will see you tomorrow at 2 o'clock. We'll see you then. You have a great day now. This is Sarah Poff, and those art hands. They're a gift from God.